50 years ago, our region erupted into violence over the question of race. In 1969, the whole nation seemed to be engulfed in racial turmoil. Martin Luther King Jr. had been assassinated in April of 1968, and African Americans were taking their grievances to the streets, including to the streets of Harrisburg and York. But in June of 1969, racial tensions turned violent with the arrest of Mary Yancey, an African-American resident of Harrisburg who, she said, police beat her after she tried to enter a store to buy a pack of cigarettes. Then, in the midst of the unrest that ensued, police killed Charles A. Scott, a black student at John Harris High School. A month later, during riots in York, police officer Henry Schad was killed and Lily Bell Allen, a black woman, was shot to death. Our region, much like that of our nation, was in turmoil. Tonight, we will revisit a little bit of this period in our history to try to assess if there are lessons that we need to learn from the unrest of 1969, lessons that might prevent a repeat of the violence that brought so much misery to so many people. So, friends, let's get started. The first question that I'd like to kind of throw out to our readers is, does anybody, I mean, some of you may have lived through these times. You certainly didn't live through maybe all of the times, all of you didn't, but some of you have some personal recollections of what things were like in our region as well as around the nation. So I think, Stephen, you had some recollection of what may have happened or what the atmosphere was like in Harrisburg or in central Pennsylvania.
My name's Steve Bush, and I graduated from William Penn Senior High School in York in 1969. Shortly after graduation, I was in boot camp and got a call from my mom that said that there were half-tracks rolling through the streets of York, and I didn't know what a half-track was.
What is a half-track?
It's an armored vehicle that has like a instead of wheels, it has a track. So it's a half-track in the sense that it's not completely armored. Anyway, it's a armored personnel carrier that were bringing the National Guard into the city. Okay.
Was she afraid?
No. It was in response to the murder of Schad and Lily Bell Allen.
And did your mother give a sense, I mean, of how the white community was responding to this unrest? I mean, what they felt?
Well, they were marginalized individuals. Newberry Street boys are often referenced, the Girarders, that acted out certain behaviors.
These were white boys?
Yes, ma'am.
They were acting out certain behaviors?
Yeah, they were gangs. Yes.
They were gangs?
Yes.
Okay.
And the Newberry Street boys were the gang that were protecting their neighborhood on North Newberry Street that resulted in the death of Lily Bell Allen.
I see. And the black community responded to that death, correct? As far as you know?
Actually, I have a quote from Charles Robertson, who was the mayor, who was the police officer that was involved in a fashion that I thought was consistent with the feelings. And that was Mayor Charles Robertson told Time magazine, everyone knew who was involved. There's some truth to that. But everyone thought it was even. One black had been killed, one white, even. So there was a sense that it was over.
I see. There was a sense that there had been a reckoning. The two sides had fought, and it was over.
Mm-hmm.